Hey guys, we're back. Welcome to Stoppage Time Live. This is the Champions League preview edition. Of course, I'm Carmine Bianco of WagerTalk.com. With me today are Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan of Wager Talk and Pavlos Lagaretos of Sports Memo. I'm just muting my mic here as we go. Listen, guys, on today's show, we're going to break down all 8 groups in this year's competition, which kicks off in 11 days. We're going to have some group stage winner selections, some tournament futures, and at the end of the show, we're going to talk about some big bets and some big plays. Not only that I have, but that the guys might have as well too. Let's bring in the guys first. Let's go to Nick first. Nick, how's it going, buddy? Nick Borrman of Wager Talk. Nick, you went 23-7, 77%. After the restart of Champions League and Europa League last season. That's impressive as hell, my friend. How you doing?
I am so looking forward to getting back to the Champions League, man. It's the best tournament in all football, and the best teams in the world battle it out. Two-legged ties, playoffs. What could get better? I can't wait, man. You hit on the head at end of the season great last year, and hopefully we roll right into this year with a similar streak.
Yeah, and we're not far away. Like I said, we're 11 days. My man in Ireland, Kevin Dolan, 33-18 run with 4% and 5% plays. An impressive plus 56.59 bankroll increase. Those are some pretty good numbers. How's it going there?
Yeah, good as you highlighted. It's been a pretty good run for us on those sides. And, just like Nick, this is my favourite time of year. We're getting right back. We've already seen the start of the European leagues and get right back into Champions League. And look, the other reason that this is my favourite show is because it's the only show I got to tell Nick constantly that he's wrong. So I love being back on Stoppage Time for that reason.
and of course, our man out in Greece, the one and only from Sports Memo, Pavlos Lagaretos. You have heated up in the last 4 or 5 days, especially 6-0-2 run, 23% bankroll increase. So anyone who has followed you along has been making money, my friend. How you doing?
Yeah. The clients have been winning with me the past few days. I've been doing great in the MLS and hoping to do great in the Champions League as well. It's in about 10 days, as you said. So. Yeah, we're all looking forward to it.
All right, good. We're going to jump into this, guys, because we're 10 minutes in and we've got a lot to cover. So I'm going to go through the groups one by one, and then we'll get some feedback from you guys as far as like the top 2 or top 3 in each group, and then we'll for the guys who are out there who are following along and watching. At the end of each group segment, we'll actually put up what we like in this group as far as to win the actual group. So we're going to jump right into it. Obviously, we know how the competition finished last season. Bayern Munich won the final in Portugal 1-0 over PSG. It was a bit of a different format last year because of the pandemic that's going on in the world right now, which isn't the greatest thing, but the thing about Champions League this year is, for the time being, and let's hope it remains constant, they're going back to the format that they've always used. So each team will play 6 group stage matches, and then we'll go into a round of 16 knockout stage, and all of those will be 2-game ties right up until the final. The final will obviously be a one-off. I think it's being played in Turkey this year, the final. Or next year, as this competition goes into 2021. With that said, let's jump right into Group A. Bayern Munich minus 250 to win the group. Atletico Madrid are plus 275. Salzburg plus 900, and Lokomotiv Moscow are plus 3,300. Some quick stats on this. I'm going to look at the top 2 teams here. Bayern Munich, obviously the defending champions in Champions League. Their group stage record the past 4 years, 19 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. Impressive as hell. Atletico Madrid, quarterfinalists last season before they lost to Leipzig in a one-off game. Their group stage record the past 4 years, 13 wins, 5 losses, 6 draws. I'm going to throw this one to Nick first. As far as this group goes, I know you're a Munich fan. Are you still a Munich fan?
Listen, I'm a Dortmund fan. I'm only a Munich fan when they make me money. So otherwise, I really don't like them. But they're a damn good team. I think we all obviously expect them to probably come out on top of this group. And really, this is one of those groups where we know who's going to come out of it. So we're just going to try to pick our spots as we go through these group stage games in here. And there'll be times maybe to bet on Lokomotiv or Salzburg. You know, underdogs can still cover spreads. So we know who's going to win. This group, unfortunately, is unbettable. Bayern Munich is minus 285, minus 300, something like that to win the group. And then Atletico Madrid is minus 500 to be the other top 2 team. So unfortunately, it's an unbettable group as far as futures go, but I think we'll have a lot of chances along the way as we go through the 6 games. And again, I don't think there'll be any argument. I know we'll argue later, but I don't think any of us will have argument on who's coming out of this group.
Yeah, Kev, I'm going to go to you next on this one. And Nick makes some good points. Minus 250 is a lot to lay with Bayern to win this group. This is probably one of those groups where, other than the top 2, I just can't see any of the bottom 2 getting in there. And Atletico, it's a team I like, and we'll talk about it at the end in the futures, but plus 275, a chance of an upset there, you think?
No, I don't see it. I honestly, I think this is one of the most straightforward groups, out of all of them. I just can't see any deviation from the top 2 being Bayern Munich 1 and Atletico 2. As Nick brought up, Salzburg, Lokomotiv, they just don't have the talent. Even though, they're potentially bets on spread, game to game, they won't break into the top 2 here. And I just think Bayern, look, I said at the back end of last season quickly, I didn't think they'd win it last year. I thought they were a bit green. And I feared for Europe this year. So this team is a freight train right now. So, number 1 for me. All
right. Pavlos, my friend, any shocker in this group, or are you agreeing that at least as far as this group goes, it's pretty much a cut and paste the way the odds are to the way the group will finish?
Yeah, I think the odds are spot on. If anything, we could see maybe a Salzburg upset in the final 1 or 2 match days. If either Bayern Munich or Atletico Madrid have already qualified, maybe Salzburg can steal a point or 2. But as far as the winners go, Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid all the way.
I tend to agree with you guys as well too. I can't make a case for anybody going into Bayern and beating Munich there, and they're probably going to pick up all points against Salzburg and Moscow. So I think across the board, this is one of those groups where we have to we tend to agree on it that it's going to be Bayern Munich across the board for all 4 of us to win this group. With that said, let's move on to Group B. This one brings in Real Madrid at minus 175. Inter Milan are plus 250. Borussia Mönchengladbach are plus 700. And Shakhtar Donetsk are plus 1,400. Couple quick stats here. Obviously, Real Madrid last year lost in the round of 16 to Manchester United. They got to play both games in that round of 16 because the first one had been played before the shutdown. Group stage is pretty impressive record the last 14 years. And this is a club that's won this competition on numerous occasions, but 14 wins, 4 losses, 6 draws. You look at Inter Milan. Last year they finished 3rd in their group. They switched over to the Europa League and then ended up making it right to the finals before losing to Sevilla in that action-packed final 3-2. Group stage record in, they haven't participated in each of the last 4 years, but they have participated in 2 of those 4 years. 4 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws. Not an impressive record, but, this is a different team now. That can score, and Antonio Conte managing this club. I'm going to throw this one to Kev first. Your thoughts on this group?
I think this is probably the second toughest group overall. It's when the worst team made that massive Europa League run last year, the semi-final in Shakhtar Donetsk. It shows you the strength that's in this group. Real Madrid for me going through a bit of a rebuild right now. Mönchengladbach have started off the Bundesliga slow, but they are a good team, and I expect them to get better. It's you brought up some brilliant points there about Inter Milan, and for me, I think there's some great value on them to win this group outright.
All right, Nick. Real Madrid. These are guys that they won La Liga last year. Obviously, they didn't fare well in after losing that first game at home to Man City, and then the shutdown. They had a fantastic La Liga restart after the break. Didn't really play a lot of good teams, and you told people to take them to win the La Liga title at plus 250, and they came through. Do we see a revival of sorts from Real Madrid to the teams that have won championships in the past?
Well, they're going to make the knockout stage. There's no doubt about that. But I tend to agree with Kevin here. I mean, I think looking for a value and a bettable play, Inter Milan really were good. I mean, they were good all last year. They ended after the restart just extremely well last season. And honestly, and as a Juve fan, maybe you don't want to admit it, Carm, but they probably should have won that league last year. And I think they're going to be the first team to take Juve down in a long time this year. So I agree with Kevin. I think Inter Milan is a great value in this coming out of this group. Plus 250 is a great number to get on them. And I really like them to go far once they get into the knockout rounds. The one disappointment I have in this group is Shakhtar. I'm sad that they're in this group. They're always a tough team to play. I was really surprised they weren't drawn with City. I mean, they've played against Man City, I think, in like the last 3 group stages. I thought that was just a given. So that was a weird one. This is weird to see them in this group, and I really don't know what to make of them because I love to bet that team on futures markets because they have a ton of experience. They come out of these groups more often than not, and people don't even know who the hell they are. But I think it'll be tough this year because it's a pretty deep group, as Kevin alluded to.
Yeah, and Inter. I've said it. This is one of those seasons where if Juve is going to get knocked off that Serie A, podium top spot where they've held for the last 9 years or so, this is likely the one. If you give any Juve fan, myself included, an option of losing the league and winning Champions League, they'll take it. I think any top club team will tell you the exact same thing. Look at like what Liverpool did. They won Champions League and then they focused on winning the EPL last season, and they did it. It's one of those things where you want to be on top of everything, and it's something that Bayern does. With that said, I'm gonna throw this to Pavlos because you seem to have your a pulse on a lot of these La Liga teams as well too, my friend. So give me your thoughts here on this group.
As Kevin said, it's going to be a really tough group because both Borussia Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar Donetsk are not going to be easy targets for Inter Milan and Real Madrid. I think we'll see some upsets there. Shakhtar Donetsk are a team that has they have a lot of Brazilian players, so they might be Ukrainian, but they always outperform other bigger teams in the group stages. So yeah, I'm not sure if Real Madrid will finish top of the group easily here.
Yeah, in years past, in looking at some of the groups, I did some historical data mining on Real Madrid and their prices, and this is one of the lowest prices I've ever seen on Real Madrid to win a group, and I think it's because of the competitiveness of this Milan. And you've got to look at the schedules, and I'll always tell you guys, and I've said this before, map out a team's Champions League schedule to make sure that they don't have huge games where they can't on the weekend where they can't rest players prior to a Champions League game. And a perfect example is on match day 2, Real Madrid go to Germany to face Borussia Mönchengladbach, but a couple days earlier, it's the El Clasico at Barcelona, and they are not resting players against Barcelona. It's not going to happen. So you now have a team that has to play 2 monster games within a 3 day period. And those are the games you have to look at throughout the year, because usually Champions League teams are a good fade the week before they play. because they'll rest guys. They have inflated numbers, and Nick will tell you this, where Barcelona's minus 225 on the goal line, and all of a sudden you find out that Lionel Messi isn't in the lineup, and and Griezmann isn't playing. Obviously Suarez isn't there. He's with Atletico this year. But those are things you need to look at, sort of mapping it out. So as far as these guys go, yeah, Inter Milan, I agree with you. This is probably the best chance they have of winning this group is the fact that Real Madrid have a lot of tough fixtures, and they're not the Madrid of years past. So with that said, we're going to head to Group C. And this one's a good one as well, too. Manchester City, minus 400. FC Porto, plus 500. And then we have Marseille at plus 1,000 and Olympiacos at plus 1,600. Some quick stats. Obviously, we mentioned Man City lost in the quarterfinals last year to Lyon. It was a one game, not two. It was played in Portugal. And then in group stages, the last 4 years, obviously an impressive record, 15 wins, 3 losses, 6 draws. FC Porto, I'll look at them as the second team in this group. And they've only played in 3 of the past 4 years in Champions League, but a impressive 11 wins, 3 losses, 4 draws in those group stage matches. I'm going to throw this one to Pavlos first. And give me your thoughts on this group here. Is it as straightforward as it seems with Man City winning this group?
Yeah, I mean, all hell must break loose for City to not finish at the top. But the other spot is up for grabs because Marseille and Porto are pretty similar in strength, while Olympiacos they should be the top team in this group. It's not because I hate them, because I don't, but they are simply the weakest team in the group. Maybe they can make a couple of wins at home. They usually try to keep the matches at a low tempo, so their matches do not have a lot of goals. So yeah, but they might make a push for the third spot, but the top spot is City's. There is no way that changes.
Nick, your thoughts on this? Straightforward citizens to win this at minus 400?
Yeah, of course, and you're not betting that. So the bet in this group is who else is going to come out of it. Porto, embarrassingly, were crapped out last year in the qualifying round, so they didn't even make the group stage. So they definitely have a chip on their shoulder to perform a little better. Marseille is I think was it 2 years ago? They reached the Europa final. And Olympiacos, as Pablo will tell you, is always a tough team. I honestly am a little torn. I mean, value-wise, you got to look at Olympiacos at plus 350 to possibly, get a couple wins, get a couple points, and be that team to get out of here. I mean, I don't like Marseille so much, and Porto would be the only other argument, but they're even money to come out of the group. So if you're looking for a futures bet and you're looking for value on trying to take somebody and possibly hedge or make a bet against a team in one game later, I think you got to look at Olympiacos. I like them. They're very talented. They got a lot of good players, and I think they could make a run coming out of this group for the second team.
Yeah, it's one of those things I just don't see. And listen, Porto had a great season in the Premier last year in Portugal, but it's just a different beast for any team going to the Etihad to play this citizen side, and it's these EPL teams over the years, the last few years, have been successful in this tournament, at least making deep runs. So this is probably, of all the groups, you have to think it's a slam dunk. Kev?
Yeah, I mean, as the guy said, I mean, it's hard to look past it. Yeah, everyone knows how I feel about City on the outright market, but for this group, they'll be far too strong. I think, as Nick said as well, Porto have something to prove, so I do see them qualifying as well. I think Olympiacos can grab that Europa League spot in third. I think Marseille finish last. But yeah, City for top spot, definitely.
All right. So that's basically another. We're 3 groups in, and we're all in agreement. It'll change, trust me. But as far as this group goes, we are all in agreement that it's a Man City group. We're going to go to Group D. This is an interesting group. So we've got Liverpool minus 175. We have Atalanta plus 300, Ajax at plus 400, and Midtjylland at plus 3,300. Some quick stats here. Obviously, Liverpool champions 1 year removed. Lost in the round of 16 to Atletico Madrid. That was played over 2 games. That was a 2-game tie. So they got to play all of their games. Group stages, the past three of the last 4 years that they played in it, 10 wins, 4 losses, 4 draws. And then we have Atalanta, who made their inaugural appearance last season, losing in the quarterfinals in Portugal to PSG. And they went 2-3-1, 2 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw last year. It was one of those weird situations where they got off to an absolutely horrible start in the group stages, and picked up wins right at the end at the right times and snuck into the round of 16. I'm going to go to Kev first on this one, and give me your thoughts on this.
I don't think, again, there'll be any surprise here. I think Liverpool are going to finish top. The only surprise in this group is going to come for second for me, because I'm going to take Ajax. I like this team a lot. Erik ten Hag, I think he's just got this team playing well right now. And we've got to remember, look, it's only about 2 years ago since they reached the semi-final. And even last year, they missed out by a single point in the group stage to Valencia and Chelsea. So this is a good team. And I know Atlanta's kind of like a sexy pick. They were very good last year. But I don't know. There's something about Ajax I like a lot more. I think they're more compact. And I do see them being very difficult to break down. So Liverpool top, Ajax second for me.
Yeah, I didn't mention my pick, but I'm going to stick with Liverpool here. And before I throw it to Nick next, and Atalanta. They've got an exciting team, Atalanta, and they're going to give a lot of teams in Serie A a run for their money, and they're going to give teams in this competition a run for their money. The thing that has me off of Ajax, I think their odds should be much higher than 4-1. They should probably be about 6-1 in this group. Is the fact that they've had it's one of those things is when you have a good team, the bigger teams pick you apart, and by pick you apart, I mean in the transfer market where they start losing players. So, and this is what's happened to this Atalanta team. Players going to Barcelona, players going to Chelsea, they leave. And I understand you retool and you bring in some of your younger guys, but they're not going to dominate their league like they did in the past couple of years. And I think they're likely going to finish third in this group. And for those who don't know, the team that finishes third in Champions League group stage play transfers over to the knockout stages of the Europa League. So that's something that happens each and every year. With that said, I'm going to throw to where are we at next? Pavlos.
Yeah. I doubt that Liverpool won't win this group unless something terrible happens. I mean, you saw them last week in the Premier League. They conceded 7 goals to Aston Villa. Imagine what Atalanta can do to them on a bad day. Yeah, but I don't feel that they'll lose this group. There's got to be like a ton of things to go wrong for them in order to lose the group. But I do see a lot of overs in this group. I think that every match should be like an over 3 goals easy. Even Midtjylland, they score a lot of goals. Ajax, they can be good at times. They have a lot of youngsters, a lot of talent. Atalanta, you know them. They score at least 3 or 4 goals per match. And Liverpool, they're Liverpool. So yeah, I don't see how they'll lose this group, but it might not be that easy. It might not be that easy, especially if they lose like 1 or 2 games at the start, which I doubt. But yeah, Liverpool for me.
Yeah, no, and I get your point. In Liverpool, the last few years, I mean, they've had like Napoli, and they go to Napoli and they lose a game in Napoli, and people are worried about, they've had groups with Napoli and PSG, and people worry about them. But at the end of the day, they're such a well-managed squad with Klopp there, and listen, that 7 goals was an aberration. It's not going to happen again. These are some of the things that happen there. EPL did not have none of the leagues have had a proper off season. They had 30 days from the end of a competition for these teams to start training again. And then it wasn't full training because of what's going on with this pandemic. So give these teams some time to get into the swing of things, and Liverpool's going to run off about 15 wins in a row, and people are going to be like, oh, wow, look at this team. It's what we expect of them. That's a team that they have. I still say Virgil van Dijk is one of the best, if not the best defenders in the league in Europe. Nick, did I go to you on this one yet?
No, you did not. And I am going to tell you both that you're dead wrong. Atalanta will be the second team to come out of this group, okay?
I'm surprised you're not wearing your Ajax jersey.
I do have an Ajax jersey. So that's the funny thing about this group. Like 2 years ago, my team that I put my dark horse bet on and was my favorite team to watch was Ajax. They made it all the way to semifinals. Probably, I mean, it wasn't until the very, very end of the game that Tottenham came back, scored that late goal, and knocked them out of the semis. And then last year, as you guys knew, I always was harping on Atalanta and a team that can make a run. And, of course, you already hit on it. But with the 89th minute against PSG in the quarterfinal, they had that thing won until boom, boom, 2 goals, last 5 minutes, game over. So, you know, this is more or less the same team. You still got Zapata. You still got Muriel, Gomez, Pasalic. You know, they've started off fantastic. Knocked down Lazio 4-1, 2 other big winners, which, listen, I think both of those teams kind of sum up the Champions League. These 2 teams can make noise. They can knock anybody out. But at the end of the day, they probably always do come up, you know, a goal or 2 or 5 minutes short of making it all the way. But I think Atalanta's now got a little bit more experience. Ajax, you know, they do what they always do. They build their players up and they sell them. They have like the best academy out there in the world. And I think, you know, they just have a lot more people on the roster that don't have the experience. So I'm going to give the edge to Atalanta just because now they have a little bit more experience from last year. And I don't see them going backwards. I think they're going to be right up there again in the top 4 of Serie A.
Okay. So Nick gives us his thoughts on that one. Just a little housekeeping here. I want to say hi to some of the guys because I haven't had a look at the chat yet just because I've got my notes in front of me. But Chris, Elray, Birdie, Chance, some guy named Pavlos is in there, some guy named Nick. Yeah, you guys are all in there. Oblivion Sports, a good friend of Kevin's that he does the show with. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Max as well too. We're going to try and give you guys some winners. So as we go through this, but I want to tell you guys about a promo that we have going on right now over at Wager Talk and Sports Mambo. There's a couple of them first. So we've got one for the month of October where you can get any handicapper for $199. You'll get all of their plays up until October, up to and including October 31st. So it's basically an all-access package that usually sells for about $399. You're getting it for like $199. A ton of plays, and you know when guys have obviously a player or two that's a 5% play loaded at $40. Do the math, guys. You're saving with this all-access package. $199 gets it all. Head over to wagertalk.com or sportsmemo.com, and you can pick up that all-access package. And it's up to and including October the 31st. I've also got a Champions League special up. This is a group stage special that I had all the guys create. You'll get every single play of your favorite handicapper of the 4 of us during the Champions League. Their group stage plays that go from October the 20th until December the 9th. Every single group stage play that is released by that capper, including 5% plays, you'll get them for only $169. This is regularly priced at $349. And I can tell you right now, you know, myself, I've got a 5% play already loaded for match day 1. I've got group stage winners and a couple of futures bets. Nick also has a 5% play loaded for match day 1. Futures play is being loaded today as well. Kevin, he's got a top play going as well too, along with group stage winner and some future bets. And Pavlos has a top play loaded as well too, 5% play with group winner and futures being loaded by end of day today. So those are usually $40 plus the futures bets are like, $29. So $69 for match day 1. If you're buying them separately, you can get all of them for $169, and then every single play up until the December 9th. It's a fantastic deal. Head over to wagertalk.com and Sports Memo, click on the Cappers page, and you'll find that package there available for purchase. All right, boys, we got 4 more groups to go, so let's zip through this. Group E, Chelsea plus 130. This is probably the most evenly matched group price-wise that we're going to find. Chelsea's plus 130. Sevilla is plus 150. Rennes is plus 350. And Krasnodar is plus 1,600. A couple quick ones on this one. Chelsea, round 16 losers to Bayern Munich last year. Group stages in 2 of the last 4 years that they've competed. 6 wins, 2 losses, 4 draws. And Sevilla, they won the Europa League last year, obviously, did not compete in Champions League. And then as far as group stages in 2 of the last 4 years that they've competed, 5 wins, 2 losses, 5 draws. I'm going to throw this one to Nick first.
Sevilla for me, I think, boys. We all know the sexiness of Chelsea and the money they spent, but we also know money isn't going to buy you championships, right? And I don't know if I'm going to, what we're going to see out of them throughout the course of the year. Are they going to be good? Of course. Are they going to have the wherewithal, the experience in this competition to get through? I mean, they'll make the group stage. The knockout stage. But I like Sevilla. I think they made a great run. Obviously, they won the Europa last year, which they've just do almost every other year, it seems like. They have a ton of experience in these type of games. La Liga in general is a league that kind of is built for these type of competitions. Low scoring, grind it out, get a goal and win the game with that goal, although that final was high scoring. But either way, I think Sevilla has the players. I think they have the experience. I think I'm giving them the edge for this. And I think they'll come out on top of this group. Either way, Chelsea and Sevilla are the 2 teams to come out. But I like Sevilla.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on this. And it's a reason why I also like Sevilla. They had a very good season last year. They had a very good run out of the season. Where they, I think right through the Europa win there, where they beat Inter 3-2. They had won 20. I think they had gone unbeaten in 21 or 22 games, and then had a decent start to La Liga, or a good start. I think, they played Bayern Munich in the Super Cup final, took them to obviously into extra time. They played well. Listen, Bayern had their full team there, with the exception, I think, maybe of one or 2 guys, and they played them absolutely perfect, kept them to the outside. Not a lot of teams have done that to Bayern Munich, and they did. And
Yep.
I know the Super Cup finals it's just, it's kind of like the Community Shield. Some people say in England, it's almost like a friendly. That wasn't a friendly. They were there to win that game. And they played Barcelona absolutely tough the past weekend of La Liga before the season ended. So, before we went into this international break. So, plus 150, I think they're good. And I'm not convinced. Before I throw this to Kevin next, I'm not convinced on Chelsea's goalkeeping as of yet. Kepa, Kepa's trying to get back in there, but I don't think he has the emotional wherewithal to be a top level goalie. You can call me wrong on that one, but it doesn't. And I know they picked up, I believe it's Mendy. They picked up. I'm just not sold on this. And goalkeeping wins and loses you games. And if you don't believe me, just ask Liverpool with Karius in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, and how happy they were about him and his goaltending as they shipped him off the following summer. Kev, thoughts on this group?
Well, the good news is I do agree with you on Kepa. So, we'll just get out there at the start. For me, look, I'm going to completely disagree with you guys. You've made some valid points in my opinion, but for me, Sevilla don't qualify out of this group. I do like Chelsea. I know they've started the league slow, but I do expect them to keep get better as they gel more and more. I think they'll be firing all cylinders, by the time we get the first match day in this. And look, I know it's a weak league. I know the French league has its problems, but I've been very, very impressed with how Rennes have opened this season. I think they've got some good dynamic players. So look, it's a very tight group to call, in my opinion. I know you two guys have Sevilla at the top, but I think they can be put out here in a very, very. I think there might be 2 or 3 points separating the top 3 teams in this group.
All right, Pavlos, any thoughts on this group?
I love Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fanboy this season. Not because they spent all of that money, but I just really like what they did with the team. They closed gaps. One very important information is that Mendy, they got him from Rennes. So maybe he can give some insights on his former team. But yeah, I think Chelsea have the better chances here because, in my opinion, they won't be able to challenge the Premier League. So they'll shift their focus to making a deep run in the Champions League. The games against Sevilla won't be easy because Sevilla they just can't lose easily. They're a very hard nut to crack. But I think that eventually Chelsea will top this group with all the money that they spent. And as Kevin said before, wait until the players gel together and they'll be just spectacular, I hope.
Okay. So there you have it. We have 2 of us are on Sevilla. The other 2 who are incorrect are on Chelsea. I'm signing the executive order and giving this group to Sevilla. We're going to head over to Group F. Okay, Group F. Borussia Dortmund -120, Lazio +225, Zenit St. Petersburg +450, and Club Brugge +1600. Looking at a few of the things, Dortmund around the 16 losers last year to PSG. Their record in the last 4 years of Champions League group stages: 11 wins, 7 losses, 6 draws. Lazio did not compete in the last 4 years, so they're into this competition for the first time in a long while. I think 2007, 2008 season was the last one. I'm going to go to Pavlos first here on this group.
This group is a very tricky group because I don't see Borussia Dortmund not winning the group, but Lazio is going to have a tough time because Zenit, they're always competitive at home. When teams play in Russia, they always have a hard time, with all the cold and the humidity and the traveling. Also, Club Brugge, the 4th team in this group, they finished at the bottom of their group last season, but they did hold Real Madrid to a draw, and they played some pretty solid soccer, considering the fact that they are much weaker than the other teams. So, yeah, Dortmund are going to win this group, but I'm not so sure if Lazio will have an easy job. I don't know if they can. I don't really like their team this season. They were weakened in the transfer window. They didn't bring any significant, additions. They didn't make any additions, but which also means that they won't be able to challenge Dortmund. Dortmund are a much better team than pretty much everyone in this group. Yeah, I think
Okay,
they'll
we're
win
going to
this.
go. Okay, we're going to go to the guy who has a Borussia Dortmund logo painted on the wall of his bedroom, Nick Borrman. Tell us what you like in this group.
It's actually on the ceiling above my bed, so I go to sleep, I can dream of them. Dortmund will win this group. Lazio will not qualify. They're going backwards this year. I think they overperformed last year. I think they're going to struggle in Serie A. I think they're going to struggle in this group. I like the Russian side to surprise and come out Zenit as the 2nd team to qualify from this group. So that's my picks here. But Dortmund, I feel like, on the road, you do have to worry about them a little bit. But at home, nobody's going to touch those guys. So that's a guaranteed 9 points right there. And if they can sneak out their a win over at least St. Petersburg and Bruges, then it's going to be tough for anybody to catch them. So I think they're coming out on top of this one. And again, fade Lazio. I think they're going to be a team that are going to underperform. Well, I think they overperformed last year, so I think they're just going to perform to their level, which is not great this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think Lazio is going to underperform in this tournament. I can't believe that Borussia Dortmund are -120 to win this group. I thought should be a little higher than what that is. And I'll discuss that as part of my wagers at the end of the show. So we've got to speed it up. I'm going to go to Kev next.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked. I'm in complete agreement with the guys. I have, obviously Borussia Dortmund going to win the group. Zenit number 2. I thought the exact same. Lazio overrated. And, you can't go to Russia and expect an easy result. So Zenit number 2 for me.
All right. Guys, let's head over to the second last group, Group G. We'll go pop off these two fairly quickly because we got to be gone at the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour. So Barcelona and Juventus are both minus 110 to win this group. Dynamo Kiev 25-1 to win the group, and you can pronounce it, Kev. Ferencvaros, they're 50-1 to win this group. Barcelona, obviously quarterfinal losers to Bayern Munich. They kind of got steamrolled in that game. Their group stage record, ultra impressive. The last 4 years, 17 wins, 1 loss, 6 draws. Absolutely unbelievable group stage record. Juventus, round 16 losers to Lyon. And group stage last 4 years, 16 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws. Also very impressive. So these teams, between the two of them, in 48 games in group stage play, they've only lost a combined 4 games. Unbelievable. I'm going to throw this one to Kev first.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ferencvaros, they knocked out my team Celtic, so they can't be all bad. But look, in all seriousness, I like Barcelona to top this group. They're under a rebuild. We all know that. But I really like Ronald Koeman as a manager. I think he's one of the best managers in the game. And also, I think they have that, mix of youth and experience that they can rely on. Guys like Fati, Frankie de Jong. And it's just more of a fade against Juventus too. I don't like the way this Juventus team is trending as well, which is downwards. And as we already talked about in that Serie A thing, I'm with Nick on Inter Milan as well. So, Barcelona top the group, Juventus to qualify, but not with any particularly enthusiasm.
All right, let's go to Nick next on this one. Nick?
This will be the only time you'll ever hear me say these words. Kevin is 100% correct. I'll never say it again. I won't say it, ever. The one thing I'll bring up, besides the group, but just in general with the Champions League, you brought this up before, Carm, about resting players before games. I honestly think between Barcelona and Juve, they're two teams that might not have to worry too much about that. I mean, this group is so top-heavy. I'm not saying they're going to just blatantly rest players in the Champions League games, but they may not take the extra precaution on games ahead of their Champions League games, because you know what? Their leagues are going to be tight and they're going to need to win points. And this league, this group stage at least, will be a lot easier to get points, besides taking them from themselves, than their league will. So they may be a team you don't look at that fade technique in front of the Champions League games. And in fact, they may be resting players or at least ready to sub players out early in these games because they're up 1-2-0, whatever it is. So just wanted to bring up that point because I think you might see that a little bit with these two.
Yeah, and don't let the fact that I'm wearing a Juventus jersey sway you on why I'm taking Juventus to win this group. But I always believe that the team that gets off to the better start in Champions League when they have to play head-to-head with the other co-favorite holds the decided advantage. And I spoke about Real Madrid earlier, and I'll before I throw it to Pavlos really quickly, I'm going to mention Barcelona travel on match day 2 to Turin to face Juventus on match day 2. Who do they play 3 days before that? El Clasico against Real Madrid. They will not be resting players, obviously, for El Clasico at home. And it's one of those things where fatigue still comes into this. And you're playing a team, you're playing 2 big matches within 3 days of each other. Juve gets that win at home, takes control of the group until they have to go to Camp Nou and face Barcelona, which is never a good thing to do. Pavlos, give us your thoughts on this group.
In the battle between Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, I'll go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Lionel Messi just wants out of that team, whatever that means. So yeah, it's Juventus for me.
Okay, we got to wrap up this thing. So 2 of us on Juventus, 2 of us on Barcelona. Group H, PSG minus 150, Manchester United plus 225, Red Bull Leipzig plus 550, and Istanbul Basaksehir plus 2,000, which is 20-1. PSG lost in the finals to Bayern Munich last year, 16-2-6. Their last 24 games in Champions League group stages. Man United, they were in Europa last season. Played in this competition 2 of the last 4 years, 8 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. And Leipzig lost to PSG in the semifinals last season. And they're 5 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws in this competition in group stages. Pavlos, quickly, your thoughts here.
Yeah, I don't think PSG can be threatened by either Manchester United or Leipzig. Maybe Leipzig could threaten them easier than Manchester United. Yeah, I don't see a scenario where PSG don't win this group. We're just looking for the second and third team.
All right, Kev.
I disagree. I'm the only one out here who's taken Leipzig to win this group. I think plus 550 is crazy. You know, we keep expecting this drop-off from the Werner trade. It hasn't happened. 2.24 expected goals last season. They're averaging 2.56 expected goals. Nagelsmann's one of the best coaches in the game. He's plugged all the holes. And for me, PSG, and especially Man United, on a huge slide. Leipzig at these odds are crazy value. I'm all over them.
Okay, so we've got 2 of us on PSG, 1 on Red Bull Leipzig. Nick?
I like PSG to win the group, but I do like Leipzig to qualify as well. So I'll back up Kevin on that. I think United are on a slide after finishing last year so strong. They do not look great right now. I mean, hell, Solskjaer might not even be the manager by the time this group stage ends. But I do think PSG just have enough experience. You know, listen, what does PSG do? They always win their group, and then they get knocked out in the round of 16 or the round of 8. I'm surprised they made it to the final last year. So they have enough wherewithal to get to that point, and I think they will win the group. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I wouldn't be surprised if Leipzig did win. So I don't think it's a bad bet by Kevin at all, because I do think they at least qualify from the group. It's a fade for United more than anything out of this group for me.
All right, guys. For you guys out there, before we put up the tournament future bets for the 4 of us and our dark horses, quickly, one more piece of business. 169 gets you all the group stage plays released by your favorite capper. This is regularly $349. It's going to cover every single match day, the 6 match days from October the 20th, next Tuesday, right until December the 9th. And then with all the money that you obviously win, then you'll buy the knockout stage package. But 169, head over to wagertalk.com or sportsmemo.com to pick those up. Our other promo that is going on site-wide is for the month of October, get every single play from your favorite capper for $199. That's every play in October and in every sport until October the 31st and including October 31st. Head over to either site and you can pick that up. With that said, let's go to our tournament futures here. I'm going to run through this for you guys just because we've only got a few minutes left. But as far as the tournament futures, hopefully we can get them on the board there. We have, Kevin, we have you with Atletico Madrid. I have the exact same one at 20-1 to win this competition. Nick has Bayern Munich to repeat, to do what Real Madrid has done 3 times in a row, I think it was, or 4-peat at plus 400. And Pavlos, I think he's trying to get into my good books on this one. He has Juventus at plus 1,400 to win. So I'm with Kevin on this one here because money trumps cheering for my favorite team. Money will always trump it. So go Atletico, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We're going to go to the dark horses here now next. And I'm going to start with Nick on these dark horse selections. Nick has Dortmund 25-1, Inter Milan at 33-1. Pavlos has Chelsea at 20-1, Inter Milan at 33-1. Kev, you have Red Bull Leipzig. You really like Red Bull Leipzig, my friend, 66-1. And I know that you also like Dortmund at plus 2,500 at 25-1. So that is another dark horse that you like. And every year, guys, I've talked about this. Every year I blast away $1,000 on Juventus at whatever odds over 10-1 that they are. So they're 14-1. making my annual donation to them, and Sevilla at 50-1 to win this competition. I'm looking for the Europa to Champions League double by them. With that said, before we go, guys, and before I give you one last word, my two big future bets that I talked about on those teasers. Atletico 20-1. Okay, I've got them for 4K, and here's my reason: is they're going to make it into the round of 16. Okay, and they don't face Bayern Munich because you can't face the same team twice. They won't face any of the Spanish teams in the round of 16 because you can't play an associated team. So there's only 3 or 4 teams that they could play, and I've looked over those matchups, and I think they make it out of the round of 16 into the quarterfinals. And at that point, 20-1, I'll take my chances with a 21 team. I can hedge it out. Kev will call me a gardener, but I'm pretty fine with that. And I have a group stage winner parlay, which I have 4K on as well too. Bayern Munich to win the group, Liverpool to win the group, Man City to win the group, and Dortmund to win the group. If you take those 4 teams and you parlay them, you get 4-1 on your money. So for if this hits group stages, I make 20K on this bet. I'm pretty happy about it. Kev, I'm gonna do this to you. Take us out.
No, well, look, you nailed it with the outright. I'm all over Atletico Madrid as well, because it does give you as much of it against as I am. Like, you have to hedge in that position, but they're a great side to go deep in this competition, and I think it's one of the standout bets on the board.
Nick, any final thoughts real quickly?
No, I'll just say thanks to everybody for tuning in. Missed you on the last couple of weeks, but we'll be looking forward to doing more of these shows with the awesome graphics. So thanks to our producer, Joe, behind the scenes doing all the work, and looking forward to talking with you guys some more.
Joe's absolutely fantastic. Pavlos, any final words before we go?
Yeah, better be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
That's it.
About
Listen,
that,
that's perfect. To Joe Ranieri, who is a fantastic producer, absolutely great. He made 4 schmucks like us look good on YouTube. I absolutely love you, buddy. And for everyone that tuned in, thank you very much. And we'll be back with another edition of Stoppage Time next week. Good luck with your wagers. Head over to wagertalk.com and Sports Memo and support your favorite capper. As always, guys, good luck with your wagers.